Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chessyard. This is Dhairya Bagga, and I'll be playing the 5 minute Blitz today on chess. So let's get started. Got the black pieces here, so C65, my favorite openings from black. Now developing the knight, and then the light square bishop to F5. Uh, he develops the dark square bishop, so pawn E6, giving some strength to the center. Then knight C6. There's attack on the knight, but if he takes, that's good for black. Here I can first move the pawn to a6, making sure the bishop never comes to b5. He gets his bishop on d3, so bishop g6. He takes with the knight. I take back with the h pawn, opening up the h file. I can go for the bishop exchange, which he denies for now. So, couple of ways to proceed from here. I'll start off with the knight, maybe. Yep, knight to e7, and knight f5. He takes the bishop. I'll take back with the knight, or with the queen. Uh, Again, he has started to create some weaknesses over the king side. Now is knight g3 and g4. Looks good. Attacking the pawn. So he has to move the h pawn now. Oh, he doesn't. Not bothered about it much. It's okay. I'll take on the pawn. Attacking the rook. If he wants, he can save the bishop. I'll take the rook. He's offing the bishop now. What should I take? Bishop is for free though, and he cannot move the f pawn forward. Here, simple move, pawn to g5, attacking the knight. So he takes, I take, he takes back. Equal position here. So now I need to get an attack going. I think I also need to castle now. Unfortunately, on the wrong side. Attacking the queen, so queen goes to b4, defending the pawn as well as attacking. He saves. I can go for a rook exchange here. He's fast. Okay, so I somehow want to move my king up. I can then probably start moving my rook to h8 and then attack from the other side of the board as well. Queen can definitely give a check in one move. King runs on to g2. If my rook is on h8, I can checkmate from the other square over there. There are lots of problem. If I move here, he probably gets his queen. Oh, what is he trying to do from here? Can I give a check now? I don't know. Nope, I can't. I have to defend. Let's go check and see. I go on the b1 here, threatening to capture. I can give a check as well. Let's give a check and see. Oh, he makes a mistake, and that's what is required. Check. I think it's mate. Is it mate? Is it mate? Yes, it's mate. All it takes is one bad move. 1930 player defeated with the Karakan. Let's see the analysis board. Yeah, the game was pretty much neutral. Point 0.4. Zero white. Let me check. He captures the pawn. Here he missed the move. That's a blunder. That is a blunder. Had to. So draw was also an option from here. If he goes back, I can continue with queen to b1, check. He has to save the only way if he wants to save the game. But here he made a blunder and he lost. He didn't find the right square and got the king on the bad place, bad square, followed by check, and then it's a mate from h1. Yeah, a good game. Let's see anno- the most ones. Start with c4, so c6, then knight to c3, pawn d5. He takes, I take back. Then I develop the knight on f6. Standard development moves, taking out my minor pieces. And enter by moving e3, knight to c6. He moves knight to e5. Here I moved the a6, and he offers a bishop exchange via d3, which I deny for the time being by moving the bishop to g6. He takes with the knight. I take back with the g pawn. Again, the h file was the game changer there. When I won the match, it was because of the opened up h file. He castles. I give him bishop for exchange, which he doesn't take. So I'll start taking my knight towards the bishop. And here he takes the bishop on d6. I take back with the queen, attacking the h2, which he saves with g3. Again, if you are moving or forced to move any of the pawns on a king side, you are probably going to create some weaknesses, and that's what happened in the game. I had the other knight as well over there, so I moved to g4. Here he captures my knight. So I first capture on. Oh, I didn't have to capture the pawn there. Okay, I should have first captured the knight, but he gave away the bishop. And yeah, here I was trying to decide between taking the rook or the bishop. Bishop is what computer is also suggesting, so took the bishop. And then he moves the knight. I gave away my knight here. What was the alternative? Attack the rook first. Oh yeah, the rook will have to go on the other side. I can kick away the knight. Of course, he won't be placing his knight over here. I would rather going backwards mostly, and then I can push the pawn forward. Even this looks fine to me because I can get my knight and fork the king as was the rook. But that loses some advantage that the queen's diagonal can be blocked with the knight. So computer suggesting that go for the pawn exchange here. After he takes, now you can go on the empty file. You have just cleared up your sixth rank, and now you are attacking the H file. Irrespective of the fact what he does, we can go for our attack. Gets the knight, we can take up. He takes back, and give some check, and move the king away. And then we can probably get the other rook as well into the attack, and then go on from there. That's another line that's possible from there. Here, computer suggesting to take on the queen. So we were in the game. Sorry, I just missed a couple of moves, I believe. Yep, we were here. He takes on my knight. I take back the knight. He's offering queen for exchange, which I denied, though was in best favor of black here. He moves the rook on the c file, and I castle. Again, not very good move because uh, his rook is coming on the c7, but the only other option that I had was probably to move the pawn, which again would force me to exchange queens later on. which I didn't want in the game to happen, because my plan was that I can still go on attack on the h file which is open. And here I got a chance, so I moved towards the b file, protecting the pawn as well as attacking the pawn on b2. He moves b3. I go for rook exchange. He aligns his rook on the c file. Then he takes back with the rook. Here the situation is a draw. Probably computer sensing that if we both play the best from here on, it should be winning. Yep, I knew that g6 would be a bad move because, of course, his queen can come on the e5. That can be nasty. But he rather chose to move his rook on d7 here, and then getting his queen to c7, making sure the rook and the queens are in the same rank, attacking the pawn. He can win a pawn over here. That would have been the best. So here I moved king to g7. Now the whole idea of moving the pawn forward and the king to g7 was to make use of the open h file, uh, and he ignores the fact that the h file is opened up because he knew that his king is probably safer here unless he gets it on the h file maybe. And then I give him a check. He moves up again. I don't have a refutation from here, so I need to find a square from where I can probably push him for a draw. That for that I have to be on the same color diagonal as the king is. So I move my queen on b1 here, attacking the pawn on a2, as well as threatening a check from e4, where he has to move the king and can create some weakness, can create some error from his side. And that's what happened in the game. As soon as I gave a check from e4, he makes a blunder and moves his king to the h file, h2, give him a check, and that's mate in one. Yep. So, yeah, a nice game. Ended up in my favor. I hope you like the video. Please do let me know your comments and keep sharing. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.